Peace family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how everything will come back to them in due time. Everything always comes back in due time, you know what I mean? And that's, I know, on a harder or darker side of the spectrum, but it's kind of like if we see a pair of AirPods or something sitting out, you know, with us being at certain ages and places in our life, we no longer take those things, you know what I mean? Like, even small, subtle things that we used to do that we knew that we could get away with, we don't engage in them behaviors anymore, right? But they don't comprehend this concept because they are already signed up with the other playbook. So even if we want to say they do understand the concept, it's kind of like they're puppets. It's kind of like not wanting to do something and you still being forced to do it. Like your parents when you little would tell you to go to church, they'll force you to get up and get dressed, you know what I mean? You ain't want to go, but you still went up and went anyways. Same thing with these beings, you know? It always comes back in due time. I think the hardest and trickiest part is that they never usually get theirs immediately, because they have a lot more suffering that goes along with it, and it's usually a home run hit when they do get it, you know what I mean? So it's not like the energy we don't put out don't come back around, which is why I was saying we're aware of the vibrations that we put out, and that's why I used the AirPods as an example, you know what I mean? So I was out on the trail like a couple months ago and I seen just some AirPods. Somebody must have took them off, was stretching or doing something, and I think it was just me and my daughter on the trail, whatever. And she pointed them out and I seen them, you know, and I know the young me, because I ain't grow up with shit, probably would have grabbed them. They free, they right there, nobody sees me. It is what it is, you know what I mean? The universe just gave me some free AirPods. But me having the concept I have now, it's like those don't belong to me if we're all sharing with the universe. And if those were my AirPods and I left them, I would want to come back and have my AirPods still right there instead of knowing that somebody is going to take it. You know what I mean? So these things with these playbooks, right? They run extremely deep to the point to where we can see a lot of the damage that they doing to themselves, to the people around them, and to their children, you know. And that's one of the hardest things for me is when I see adults or other people doing these certain things to their children as well, you know what I mean? And this is a vibration, a frequency, a being that's coming into this realm that is a lot more pure than most, you know what I mean? And to be the one that's going in and doing the work to damage them, to harm them, to put them through emotional trauma, you know, physical pain. To put the little ones through that kind of energy, right? It's kind of like when you see people hurting animals and stuff of that nature when the animal is harmless. And if you really process like how much love is filled within this universe and within God, Creator, Allah, whatever name you use, you would see that most of the animals and creatures are not built to be extremely harmful. They're all built to defend themselves, and most of them, you can look at ducks and geese, they don't have a crazy, you know, attack mode. Chickens, you can name a bunch of creatures, you know what I'm saying? Even if you want to go down to the rhinos, like, they still have horns or whatever you want to call them on the top, which they only allowed to use if you get too close to them, you know what I mean? So a lot of the hard physical stuff that, you know, we're compressed within this universe, this realm, all the physical beings that's active, you know, and even some of the trees, you know, you got plants and things that's just built with a good defense, thorn bushes and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So it's like the opposition took what we use as protection and defense and turned it into an offense. We have it set up to where we can operate in this realm and not have to worry about a whole lot of bugs and animals, whatever we want to call them, just life attacking us and doing certain things. You got small ones, you know what I'm saying, like spiders and all these things, but you, even with that, they still have to get up on you. You know, they still have to be close to you in that space. These other beings that took our protection and our defense energy, vibration, frequency, and they flipped it to an offense, they didn't have a choice, because one is part of the playbook, and now two, they've been enrolled into that class and that school and that system for so long that it's programmed in them. So it's kind of like my BM, like she's a witch, you know. And what's crazy is, like, we had stopped talking for some time, and because we had the courts, we still got the courts in the middle, so we had stopped talking for some time. But then it was some period in time in between that we started communicating again. And I was just trying to show my mini the reason why the fuck I separated. I won't telling her this, but I was like, in my word, I'm like, yeah, we can mingle with mommy occasionally here or there, you know what I'm saying? So you can see daddy and mommy energies together and you can see how it operates, you know what I mean? But she had got into the tarot cards, you know. I don't know how huge she is into them now, but in my world, that's always the first place where the witches go to obtain some kind of power. Because when you become, or you start doing tarot readings, it basically puts you as the power source. You know, you could have been not anything your entire life, not even doing anything in the inside. Somebody show you some tarot cards, and all of a sudden, and it really works well in the Western society, because we got a lot of demons, which they will call narcissists, which have to make it about themselves. So now if you learn in this one thing, it shows people, okay. And most people worlds that don't understand that, they see it like, oh, you just picked up a cards and you start thinking that you could tell me about me. But the cards is a tool. The cards isn't a bad thing. What I'm saying is how the opposition take things and flip them. So I was saying, like, I knew my BM was gonna be a witch, because I already knew she was one, but it was like, when we first started, it was all kind of tricky, you know what I mean? Like, very soft. It was like an altar. Like, I could turn, like, I met it, it was feminine, right? When I met it, that's what I can call it. I don't know what it is, you know? But when I met it, then as things progressed, it transitioned from using that femme to trying to turn his ovaries to the outside and make, you know, testicles, balls. It's just like, and the things that she has done back then to the things that she still continued to do to this day, we ain't even together in that space. And it's a lot of activity over here. That's why I keep looking over here. I'm always gonna be on my toes. I don't care where I'm at, you know what I mean? That's just me naturally. But to have such a long separation time, not to be engaged with each other on any of those kind of levels, you know what I mean? And to still have your focus on destroying me, which I am very present in my child's life, which I have no choice but to smile about these things. One, because the sun is willy beaming, and two, because when you understand this spiritual war, you already understand the concepts of what's actually happening. You know what I mean? So it's like, I knew she was already gone once I start learning all this information and start putting 1 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 3. When I start doing the math, right, I knew from that point in time that her parents was her handler, right? Because she had caught epilepsy around like 12 or 13, I want to say, which that's a long time to go without any medical stuff. And she's adopted, so those aren't her genetics that was raising her. So that's how I kind of knew, because they couldn't say, oh, it's genetics how it got passed down. Nah, you spiritually break someone down and you disconnect them. They get disassociated. She got so scrambled, because I understand in epilepsy, I understand a lot of things. I just try to simplify things when I'm breaking them down and not use all those weird rooted words. And the epilepsy is like, it's serious. It's serious, you know what I mean? It's serious. I'm not what they would call, what YouTube needs to say, this isn't no medical information, this isn't medical use, this is just my my analysis. This is not health advice. This is not health advice. But from the spiritual standpoint, the body and the spirit is out of sync. There's no more synchronicity. So when the spirit gets so confused and out of sync, the body starts to do its malfunctioning thing. So it's kind of like if you ever been in a car, like a stick shift car, a manual that stalled out before you, or if you ever been just driving an automatic car and you feel it do that little, like it's about to start giving out on you. It's the car trying to fight for its synchronicity so that way it can flow properly, And I understood that her parents had to have broken her down at a young age already, to the point to where she still is living up underneath their roof, doing all these things, blah, blah. Never had to pay a bill in her life. Still drive their vehicles, don't have her own vehicle. A lot of weird, witchy stuff. But when the pressure became super serious and when it started becoming more apparent that most people don't change out of these playbooks, is when she was just trying to destroy our daughter. So now it's this thing where I've already been teaching my daughter. We've been going over a lot because I knew the witch that I had laid down with. So I knew that since it was too late to take it back, what I can do is start preparing my mini how to protect herself when she's not around me. So, and these are a lot of things that's helped her in the process, you know what I mean? But the mom still has to pay, and she's still paying to this day. So when you get hit with big things like the E word I was just talking about, it puts you in a space of knowing that if the system shuts down, these kind of beings are dependent on the opioids. So if there's no more opioids, then they automatically start malfunctioning. This is something that, because they don't get out of these cycles that they have to suffer through. Like, I got hardships and things that I got to go through, One, because I got people attacking me spiritually and physically. And for two, it's because I'm not a perfect being, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in Western society, so I got not a lot of things. I done shrank my list down. It's a couple things now that I'm still like working through, but everything else is all in the progression mode. So I don't live in a space of saying like, I gotta heal this, I gotta heal that. I live in a space of knowing that the universe is still happening, so I gotta continuously grow and push. But this wasn't supposed to be about like needing to get or seek revenge. You do have to stand your ground, and what they put out is always going to spin back their way. But what happens is, and what I'm seeing a lot more with a lot of these beings is, their time spans is a little bit longer to be witchy because society allows them a little bit more wiggle room to kind of bullshit a little bit longer. So, listen, hold on. Society gives them more wiggle room. So it's kind of like when you think about wiggle room, right? I know the fish aren't demons, right? But think of it like this. The demons are the fish, that's the people, the witchy motherfuckers, right? And you got all the fish in the water. Those fish is always gonna have room to swim and outdo things a little bit longer because it got more water. Now, if you put up a dam or you start sucking some of that water out, it gives them less wiggle room before they have to reap certain consequences. You know what I mean? So maybe if they wasn't eating up all the other little fish that kind of helped the water fill up, then they would all have water. But because the demon fish was doing things, now the whole pond has shrunk. But now it's more apparent what's happening. You know, it's just like, when I get to these spaces of like trying to like take this knowledge and information and create the image so that way the information is perceived easier, it gets a little tricky sometimes, because everyone doesn't always understand everything at the same vibration and frequency. And some things take a little bit longer, or the picture just have to be painted a little bit better for them to see the clarity or to see what's actually happening in front of them. You know what I mean? So, but if anybody sees somebody come up out of these, these demonic ways and like not doing all of this witchcraft that's like hurting everybody, it's torturing everybody around them, they are a virus and infecting all the spaces around them. You know what I mean? And I only use my BM today as an example because I use whoever the fuck I want to use. You a part of my life, you're a part of my story. So she just happened to be a part of it today. But I say all that to say, if she can do all, I'm saying her, and all the other demonic demons out here that's doing all this witchcraft, they trying to work it on us, but our source is too solid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may get past one armor, but you ain't getting through all of it. We too protected out here, which they don't understand. That's why they work extremely hard, day in and day out, day in and day out. If you ever slept around a witch, you realize that these witches don't even sleep. I don't know how they function and they don't sleep. I've rarely ever seen a demon sleep. Usually at nighttime, they are the most fidgetiest. When you move in the bed, they move in the bed. You know, if you're standing over here, they got to stand over here. If you in one room, they probably fake sleep listening and trying to peep everything that's going on. It don't matter if it's 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. You know what I mean? Like, I dealt with a lot of them. You know what I mean? Like, as far as the demonic men, demon females and demon men are different. You know, the demon men is going to crash out. They're going, I've seen it. They don't give a damn. You know, to them it's, everything is I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? So, and for men, we process things a lot differently and a lot harder, and we're already sacrificial beings to a degree biologically, you know. So anytime I'm out with my friends, family, or just me, I just know the risk of danger, and I already know that I'm supposed to be the first line of defense. You know what I mean? So we just naturally built to kind of sacrifice, you know. That's just how we come. But yeah, understanding the depths in the language and how it operates, and they always get what's coming to them. You know what I mean? My BM could do all those witchy things from the time we started to the time to where we at. But my daughter turns 8 this week. You know what I mean? It's only a couple more years. She even gets to have her daughter, our daughter, in her life. Because when she gets a certain age, our daughter is gone and is getting the fuck away from her if it doesn't happen sooner. You know what I mean? So it's like, even the little piece that you could have redeemed, you created so much chaos right there. Because I don't want to say trauma, because daddy been there. I've been putting in a lot of work to be present for my mini. But you created so much chaos right there that anytime a being, a child, anyone, we all got choices. You know, you get to choose. We're gonna pick the one that feels the best to us, the one that treats us the best, the one item that tastes the best. You know what I'm saying? If we have a choice, it's always going to be a lesser one and a better one. That's just how it works. It don't matter if it's a lesser better from like 60-40 or 90-10. You know what I'm saying? Either way, it's still that little differentiation that's in between there. You know what I mean? And she's gonna lose a whole relationship with the only seed that she has. So to me, that's even way more suffering and damaging to one's being than just the little shit that your parents put you through, and then you put yourself through and put everybody else through, brought another one into this realm, and you are currently trying to put her through that same process. Only difference is I'm here. That's the biggest difference. If I was not here, all their witchcraft would be working, but it's not. You know what I mean? And I just say that to say, what the energy they put out is going to come back in due time. The same way that we vibrate and we try to put out as much love as we possibly can, and we see that when we need it the most, it makes its way back to us. It don't always come when we asking for it, or like when we feel like we really need it. But when the universe know that we need that motherfucking love, the universe sends that love every time. I cannot tell y'all enough times how much I've been going back and forth through these isolated spaces, and the universe just send me some love just right all up in here, and I'm just like, damn, a nigga needed that. You know what I mean? Like, life is different for a man out here in 2023. You know what I mean? It ain't even no longer meeting females and building with them. You know, you have to already be established in this world now. In the old world, you used to be able to meet somebody and build with them. And the building is where all the substance came from. But now we got so much tension because now people want people already built, stocked, already as it is, and then don't want to do any building in the process. You know what I mean? So for all the men out there, y'all make sure y'all stay solid on your motherfucking grind. You know what I mean? Make sure you stay 10 toes down. Make sure if you ain't on your purpose, get with some people who on theirs. I found my way by helping others. You know what I mean? So I always like to emphasize that out there to people. Even if you ain't got no goals or no lines or no points, you know what I'm saying? Like, align yourself with other people that do. Figure out how you can be resourceful and helpful to them. And that usually will always open up another door for you in the spiritual realm, which would manifest into this physical realm. You know what I mean? Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.